Hi all, Scott here from Art of the Genre, and today we are going to take a look at C2, the Ghost Tower of Inverness. This was written by Alan Hammock, and it was actually produced as a tournament module in 1979, November 1979, for WinterCon 8 in Detroit. That makes it 41 years old this month. When this actually came out, I was only 8. So if that tells you anything, it certainly has some age on it, but what a fantastic little tournament module here. I'm going to read the first chapter of this because I think it's important and it kind of sets the age of this particular module and how it was written. Know you that in the elder days, before the invoked devastation and the reign of colossal fire, when the ancient peaks of Aber Als still thrust skyward sharp and majestic, and the fleeing tribesmen were but newcomers in the land, there existed between the bright desert and the mouth of the river Selaton a great fortress called Inverness. The walls of this castle were said to be proof against enemies and all things magical and natural. Know you also that here was said to dwell the great wizard Gallop Dreedle at the height of his power and glory, and that he did lift the castle Inverness from the very foundation of rock upon which it rested. It continues on like that, but you can feel a lot of Robert E. Howard and Conan in this, at least in the introduction for this particular piece. It is, the cover was done by Jim Rosloff. Check it out. And it has some great interior pieces by Errol Otis and Jeff D. and Rosloff as well. Check those out. So you can see that this really ages the module. It puts it right in that sweet spot, right around 1980, when TSR was starting to transition over from just the basic non-colored versions of modules and started to reprint and press these particular pieces. Alan Hammock does a great job with this module, especially for a tournament. It's set in, it can be set in Greyhawk in the lands of Ernst, but it can really be set anywhere, and as a tournament edition, it gives you a great number of NPCs that you can start out with, and it tells you, if you're not using them, how you need to vary your party, having a cleric, a thief, and a magic user at the very least within your party when you go into this. As a tournament edition, you can hand these out or give these to characters, or just have characters come in. They're kind of pulled out of their sleeping arrangements in an inn, taken before the Duke of Ernst, I believe, and then thrust into this module. And if you use your own characters, you can have any story you want to of how they got here. But the story revolves around the seer, a great seer who has discovered the secrets of the soul gem, which Gallop Dreedle had inside the Tower of Inverness. And he believes that it's still there, and he went in himself, kind of like a Gandalfian character, but he was thrust out. He couldn't do it by himself, so he therefore went to the Duke of Ernst and said, hey, if you get the party together, I can show you how to use this gem. It's supposed to be able to do all these great things, defeat armies, yada, yada, yada. And the Duke says, okay, let's do it. We'll send in a party of adventurers to try to get this. So in tournament scoring editions, you have a lot of different scoring involved in it and how well the characters can make it through this module. And it can be fast, and you can get to the tower, the inverted tower, actually. Check out a map of it here. But that tower, I mean, it will have a thrust of, what the basis of the module is, and you can get to that quickly, move through it, and then touch an amulet, and it will take you out of the tower. And you can get this done fairly quickly, assuming that the characters enjoy the module. And that is what this module is based on: puzzles. If your characters don't like puzzles, then they're not going to like Ghost Tower of Inverness, because this is really just set up as a quick run. There's not a great amount of fighting. There's a fire giant. There's a great picture of it here. And then, of course, there are going to be pterodons and a couple other things that are going to be in this that you can fight, a Medusa. But really, it's set up on a lot of puzzle bases and how to figure out how to get through specific things. And if characters don't like problem solving, if they just want a dungeon to clear through, this is going to be tough for them, especially because it's the end game. The beginning part of this module, if you wanted to extend it, there's a lot of castle works outside of the tower itself with a great list. I mean, an absolutely fantastic list of wandering monsters. And you could populate the place. There's illusionists in there. There's all kinds of fun stuff that the characters could get in if you wanted to extend this module and make it more of a homebrew and have the characters fight things before they get to those puzzles. But you've got to understand when they get to those puzzles if they're going to like them as well. So in game, you have to like solving puzzles if you're going to go through the Ghost Tower of Inverness. One of my favorite things in Ghost Tower as well is when the Duke takes you in with the characters that are levels 5 to 7, he gives them each 25,000 gold pieces to go into his personal stock and just buy crap. And there's like +4 swords, flame tongues, armors, and all kinds of awesome equipment that you're going to get in a list in here. And, for me, as a player, there was nothing I enjoyed more than being able to take that gold and turn it into cool stuff that my character has. And to go into a magical store with 25K and just be able to buy the stuff that your character has wanted his whole existence or her whole existence is just awesome to me. And you get to keep those things, and you get to keep everything in the tower that you find as well, although there's not a massive amount of treasure in here, except for the soul gem, which will of course be returned to the Duke at the end of this adventure. It can be quick. It can be long. It depends on what you're looking for with it. And otherwise, I don't have a vast amount to say about it because it's not very long in the way that it's written. There are a lot of maps in here that are going to take you through and let your players go through specific on those puzzles. So there's page per puzzle mapping, as well as the outer valley, which is kind of your base dungeon. But initially, again, you're going to get scoring systems. They have score sheets in here for the characters. If you're looking to do scoring for some reason, or you're getting ready to run it in a tournament. But it is an ancient tournament module, and I think it still holds up for that case. And again, I think the feel of it is very, very late 70s, which if you like that in the OSR, you're going to like this module as well. Great artwork, well done for a tournament, and very well done as well if you want to expand it and make it a larger adventure and have a lot of other combat situations in it. And I think the setting, in the way, there are 2 intros in it, one for characters that don't know each other and one for characters that do. So they've gone into a pretty good amount of detail there and just allowing you to set it up the way that you want to. The only problem you could have is if the characters get greedy and want the soul gem themselves. That's where you run into a problem. But nevertheless, a good adventure to start things out with. Sweet spot adventure, levels 5 to 7. And I'm going to give it a thumbs up because I think it just comes out well with what it is designed for. Like puzzles, you're going to love it. If you don't, it might be a thumbs down for you. Keep that in mind with this adventure. Otherwise, I think that's it for today. I hope you have a good one. And as always, great gaming.